Hello everybody, it's Games, and this is my closet. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about episodes, I guess, 4 through 6, 4, 5, 6, yes, 4 through 6 of Only Friends Dream On. What a journey, what a ride. What a journey, what a ride. As we'll be going, I'm going to be doing the thing that I've done in previous videos. If you haven't seen the previous videos that I've made, I don't know if you should watch them. Maybe you should do something more productive with your time. I'm going to be like adding little tweets that I've been live tweeting about all the characters. We're going to move through character by character, and we're going to talk about the show in general at the end. Right now, I'm loving this show, and I'm loving this show because of one reason. Mostly because of one reason, and it's Dean. It's Dean. Would I still be here if not for Dean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why she's the only girl who decided to turn up to the party and turn it out. But she is. Everybody else, I don't know what's I don't know what's going on. They need to take a couple of classes on like how to life skills. But it's mostly is entertaining. Okay. So I'm gonna move through. I feel like I'm gonna be making people upset with this video. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's just get into it. First character we're gonna be talking about is Arnold. I think the tweet says it. No, I have no clue what happens in his head. Like I honestly have no idea what he's thinking. Like I just don't know. First of all, and I'm really not trying to be like people like there are defense, you understand. Weapons are being formed against me. There are defender accounts on Twitter right now waiting to take me down. I'll just say that the opening of episode 5, I don't know why I don't know why that happened. And it felt to me like a mistake. And based on the things that we've seen so far, it was a mistake. Arnold, why would you have sex? Why would you have sex with Tua? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you knew that you were going to be a weird guy. So here's what happens. Your best friend, your closest friend, sits down. He says, I like you. He grabs your penis. You go, whoa. We'll get to Tua. At that point, like, I just don't know, like, if I'm unsure about my feelings for my best friend, if I'm unsure about ruining the friendship, would I then proceed to make passionate, heated love with them on their sofa? I don't know if I'm doing that. I don't know if I'm doing that. And I'm trying to figure out a world where I'm doing that. So I'm trying to understand Arnold, but I can't. I just cannot. So I don't really get that. I don't understand that. I also don't know why he's talking to Tua in the way that he's talking. Like, he opens up his mouth and he says nonsense. And then Tua looks like a little kicked puppy and he goes, oh. Sometimes, 50% of the time, Arnold says, oh, should I have said that? I know you're in love with me, but I don't know if it was the right thing for me to say that. Yeah, like, this is why I don't believe in friendships blossoming into something more. And another thing, like, why? Like, I just don't, I'm just really confused. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not mad because I don't know if anything malicious is happening here. But, like, what more do you need to know to figure out if you want to be in a relationship with Tua? Like, you fucked him, sir. Not to be crass. You were into, I'm pretty sure what was depicted was you entering him in a sexual manner. You did full clothes off sex. You didn't even decide, let me leave on my boxers, let me leave on the shirt. Let me take my contacts out. Like, you jumped head forth into the pool of penetration. So I'm just not sure, like, what more do you need? Like, what could Tua tell you today that would make it clear, yes, I want you, or no, I don't want you? It seems like you just want to, like, not do the relationship thing, but still want to keep Tua attached. I don't really know. He's being a good sport about this fan service. I mean, he's being, all things considered, he's being a great sport about the fact that he's now Arnold Dean fan service relationship. I think that's cool. Um he's a funny guy. I liked when he was his face when during rehearsals when Jack kissed Dean. That was funny. What else can I say about Arnold? Beyond my confusion. Um, yeah, like it is strange what happened. At Yeah, it is strange that Tua is paying you to be in this play. That is weird. But I feel like he'll get over that eventually. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not okay. We're gonna move on. That's my assessment of Arnold. I don't know what's going on in that head of his. I got no clue. I'm at a loss, chat. Moving on. We've got to a baby girl, darling. Like, just like imagine the first person you have sex with is Boston. The first person you kiss on the mouth is Boston. And then he ghosts you. The second person you have sex with is Arnold, your best friend, and then he also is ghosting you. Maybe he has had sex. I hope to has had sex since Boston. What was that, like a year ago? I don't really know. Yeah, things aren't looking great for Tua. That's really unfortunate. And now he's gotten exposed for paying for Arnold to be in the play. That's really difficult. Tua, I just think that you need to make the steps toward moving on. I honestly think you're such a pretty boy. People want you. People want you, Tua. People want you. I don't understand why you're all of this for Arnold. All of this for Arnold. I think you put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the money. 20,000 Thai baht. I'm not good at math, but I know that conversion doesn't wind up being about $50, which I think is the maximum amount of money you should be spending to woo a man. 20,000 Thai baht. Like, he didn't want it. Let's move on to greener pastures. Let's try some other things, okay? Tua seems a little bit upset about the Dean Arnold situation fan service. People are upset about Dean about that. You need to turn your attention to Tua. Tua, say something. You need to. We're adults. If you didn't like it happening, you should say I don't like it happening. And what about it don't you like? What about it don't you like? Because they're just making all it is TikToks. He's been inside you, like I've said. Maybe the problem is Arnold. Maybe, because I really think that Tua wouldn't care that much if he had a clear answer either way about Arnold. The whole thing comes back to Arnold. Redirect your anger at this situation to Arnold. Why? Like, I don't understand. I know. Oh, and then I just remember, like, in the pilot, I think that it was clear that Arnold, or like established that Arnold had feelings for Dean, and then was telling Tua about his feelings for Dean. I hope they cut that out. Because I'm already going out on a limb to be open-minded to Arnold, okay? But when your lack of follow-through in terms of thinking begins to harm other people in a malicious way, that's when they get cut off, okay? Because Tua's nice, okay? Was it strange for him to pay for that? Yeah, it is weird. I can't say it's not weird, Tua. I can't say it's not weird. I need to know a little bit more about your finances to determine. Like, maybe you just have a lot of money lying around. Otherwise, it is kind of strange. It is kind of strange, and I don't know how you're coming back from that. So again, in the meantime, let's try to add some people to our body count, like, because it's not, it's looking grim. It's looking grim. It's not looking great. I'll say that. I'll say that. But that's all I have to say about Tua. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like Arnold and Tua, like they're not doing a whole lot of crazy stuff compared to what they could be doing. What I will say is that I don't know, their sex scene just felt really odd to me. Really odd to me. Like, I get kissing him. Like, okay, you kiss him after he kisses you. Like, fair. Did we need to, like, you rushed into the sex. Nobody should be having sex without my express permission, okay? You two don't need to be having sex yet. You two don't need to be having sex yet because we're skipping steps. We're skipping steps, slow down. And when we skip steps, see how we got into the situation that we're in today where he's picking the bean sprouts out of your pad thai, but he won't tell you, yes, I'll be your boyfriend. And we wouldn't have been here if you didn't have sex with him. You know what I mean? All right, let's move on. Next character we're going to be talking about, Rome. Quickly. I know that Rome is supposed to be getting people and doing it with high success rate. Episode 6. He's for some reason having a DJ set in the middle of the afternoon. Sun bright overhead. At a coffee shop, he's playing like bedroom pop. Sounds like Lofi or something. I don't know. I don't know why you have a DJ turntables and you're listening and you have your whole DJ set up in the cafe. But he's doing that. And then he talks to some girl sitting there. And then they're like flirting or whatever. And then, Rafi comes in, he says, come out with me. And it's like, no, like, you told me to fuck off the other day. We're done. And then he takes this girl and he walks out with her after his set is done at the coffee shop. Like, a girl, like, who is this woman? I have to know, who are you? Who are you? Girl, it's the middle of the day. You're following this random DJ who you don't know to this third location. You left your matcha behind. What are you about to do with him at 2 p.m.? I was lost. That was concerning to me. That's a small thing. I had questions about that. But otherwise, like Rome, he doesn't upset me. But it's like I'm just kind of confused about why in episode 5 he got so upset over. Oh my god, how long was that? Why he got so upset in episode 5 over Rafi trying to hook up with Boston. Like, I do feel like there's probably something more to Rome and Boston's relationship. Like, I think they probably have some, like, past history. Because it doesn't make sense for Rome to, like, just punch Boston in the middle of nowhere. And especially his... Whatever. Fucking observe this bullshit. Oh. Y'all, my computer died. I did not think we were gonna start. Okay. What was I even saying? Yeah. Rome, you're messy. I don't know. Rome doesn't make me upset. To be fair, let me turn my... you guys, I'm so discombobulated. I did not think we were starting right now. Holy hell. Rome didn't do anything to make me mad. Why he cares this much about Rafi, I'm gonna be real, I don't understand it either. There's just like a couple of couples that I don't understand. There's a couple out of three. Um, out of three couples, there are couples I don't understand. Yeah, okay. I don't really know what's going on with Arnold Tua. I hope they can figure something out. Do I hope that? Yeah, sure, I hope that. Roman Rafi, I just don't know how he got so invested with Rafi so quickly. I feel like he probably had like a little bit of a crush on him prior. And so it was kind of like his pipe dream. Like, now that I think back on it, you know what was probably going on? He was probably in that stall. And then his heart leapt out of his chest on the night that they first hooked up when he heard little Rafi speaking in the bathroom. That's the only way this makes sense to me. If I take this as, okay, you've been longing from afar, then this makes more sense. However, I did not like that you called him cheap or whatever. Again, once again, the call's coming from inside the house. How are you calling him a whore and a slut when you just abducted this young lady away from her matcha in the middle of the day, 2 p.m.? What do you have to do that much? What do you have to do that bad? You know? Poor Pete. Poor Pete. I feel like you could have had sex with Pete. So I mean, no, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. You shouldn't have done that. But it was his birthday. How are you gonna say no to the birthday boy? That's my thing. My thing is, it was Pete's birthday and you said no to the birthday boy. That feels rude to me. I don't know. That's all I have to say about Rome. Again, I'm still waiting to see him interact at all with Jack again. What is the story there? What is the story there? Let's see more Jack and Rome, okay? Like, what is going on there? Is Rome like a letter off from Romeo on purpose? Oh my god. What if Rome and Rafi practice their lines together? Practicing lines. What if Dean is a no-show and Arnold is a no-show and then Rome and Rafi have to play it in the You guys. Rome E.O. Bro, there's no way that this happened on accident. Rome E.O. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. Rome is stepping in. Rome is the real Romeo of this whole show. Okay. We're moving on. But man, I cooked. Didn't cook anything. I cooked. Pot is empty. Okay, let's go to Rafi. Yeah, it's looking really sad. It's looking really bad for Rafi. Like, I just remember watching him stumble into the club and like throw himself onto several people and they said no. That was tough. That was tough for me. And I was just watching from home. It's looking bad for Rafi. He can't get Jack. Jack doesn't want him. He's actually letting himself be used by Jack. Because again, people lead themselves on. He's chasing after the leash. That's just what's happening. And then he's feeling this sort of possession over, I don't really know. He just wants to get, like, here's the thing, like, Rafi, and this was another tweet that I made that I didn't add here, but Rafi doesn't know who he is / what he wants. He has no idea who he is or what he really wants. And that's why right now, like, him and Rome are a non-starter. Because I just don't know, like, what is he after in this moment? What is he after in this moment? He thinks he wants to be an actor, but I'm not seeing evidence of that. He's not going to any auditions. You know who's always at an audition? Like, you know who's always in and out? Dean! Why aren't you going to auditions? What? Dean is practicing his freaking fencing skills. Why aren't you? I never see you rehearse. Do you want to be in the play? Do you want to be with Jack? Do you actually want to be with Jack? Because so far we've seen you have sex with his brother and attempt to have sex with one of his friends. Like, does that compute to somebody that wants to be with Jack to you? That's not computing that way to me. it's just not doing that in my eyes, to these eyes. What was he even doing this episode? Yeah, he was jealous over Pete and his friend. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not really upset with him right now. I was upset with him earlier. I was waiting to see, like, okay, like, are you gonna turn it? Are you gonna turn the party? And like, he doesn't really know what he wants, and I think that's what's keeping him back. Like, he obviously has like a mind for planning and like being diabolical, but you want to do that in the background behind the scenes and sneak around, and you do it like to a half extent. Like, he just gave up. He literally gave up. I don't know. I don't know. I hope that he comes into his own soon. Like, we've seen like him with his mother, and like we like, I kind of understand it like more now, like the pressure that he faces from his mother, like trying to live up to her expectations, which I think he can probably connect with Rome about, because Rome seems to have that kind of relationship with his dad as well. And his dad, I think, is also a musician, because we saw him playing the guitar. So I feel like they have things that they can connect on once they like have a conversation. Because the other thing is, like, I've seen like Sand Ray comparisons. I've seen Sand Ray comparisons, by the way, to I think all the couples. So I don't know. But I've seen Sand Ray comparisons to this couple in particular. And I feel like for me, the difference with Sand Ray, to me, yeah, they bickered at the beginning a lot. But you could also tell that Sam was just enjoying Ray's company. Like, episode 2, we saw Ray, like, Sand liked to be around Ray, and Ray liked to be around Sand. Like, they got on, like, they had conversations, like, they joked with each other. It was a playful energy between them, you know? Like, they felt like they were friends. I just don't, like, I feel like I can count on one hand, and actually on one finger, the times that I've seen Rafi enjoy being around Rome outside of intimacy, because they haven't really had like a playful interaction where they're connecting with each other. Like, I would love to see Rome and Rafi connect. I mean, I guess like there was like the backstage scene where Rome was talking about Rafi's mom or whatever, but that felt such like a heavy thing. It feels like, you know, like when you're like drunk at the club and you like talk to a girl and she's like, I look so ugly. You're like, no, you're pretty. And it's like you go your separate ways. I wouldn't say that's romance in that moment. I wouldn't say that's connection. I would say that's, you know, humanity. That's like understanding each other more. But it's just like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, I'm having trouble believing in Rome Rafi the way that I feel like I could be believing in Rome Rafi. And I think it does come down to the fact that Rafi doesn't seem to enjoy being around Rome. That does seem to be changing. Like, Rafi is like seeking out Rome now. Um which I think is interesting, like in this episode, and they were like having fun at whatever concert they were at. So I don't know. Maybe I'll come around. Like, I again, like, please don't. I feel like if I want to grow as a creator on YouTube, I should say things that'll please people. However, obviously don't want to do that because I don't edit and I don't put in any effort into these videos. Moving on, we're going to Jack. First of all, can I just say, have I already mentioned how much I love that they're putting him, Jack, in all of these shirts that are just a little bit too short? And then we see that slutty waist all the time. Number 2, can I just say, I saw a tweet recently. Let me actually pull it up and read it, because I think this will be important for everybody to see. Oh, it's playing. video was playing on my cell phone, on my Twitter. Let me just find this. So Earth mentioned, so this is a question that Earth was asked in an interview. You mentioned in a previous interview that you improvised your love scenes. What's the secret to getting in sync with your co-star? And Earth Pure Pat, actor, says, I followed my desires. Laughs. I understood the role. I watched love scenes in movies and dramas, and I have my own desires as a human being. So I combined all of those when I acted. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me show you some images about what we've seen in this love scene. So what are your desires exactly? To kiss men? To push men up back against walls and kiss them on the mouth? To push men onto stairs? To push Mix onto stairs and lick his neck? And let him grab your neck? Unbutton his shirt and kiss him? Is that? And let him lick your lips? Is that? There's those desires that you followed? Your own desires as a human? I just like... Sometimes these actors say things and I'm like, don't you know that I'm mentally ill? Do you want me to have an episode? Okay, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back to reality. Okay, we're not talking about Earth Pure Pat. We're talking about Jack. And who I understand. Like, I feel like of all the characters, Jack is the one that I relate the most to. Jack, like, I feel at one with Jack. And I said in this tweet, I understand the why he is the way that he is. And maybe that makes me a toxic person. I've never said that I'm a good person. But the thing is, like, if I know what I need to do / what I need to say to have the best outcome for everyone, and I'm not telling huge lies or being outwardly cruel, I don't know why I wouldn't just say / do the thing. Like, and maybe that is manipulation. I think I said this in the last video too. Maybe that's just being manipulative. I grant it, but I think, like, it's just so weird to me how people are expecting Jack to just throw, like, well, to just, like, if he knows, like, something, okay, if I say this is gonna make my actor happy, so I'm just gonna say it. Like, why is he supposed to say, like, yeah, like, fuck you, I guess. Like, I really don't give a fuck what you're feeling about right in this moment. Like, are you supposed to say that to a person? No, that's rude. Okay, so you say, like, but I still, you're my favorite guy. I know I'm toxic. I know I'm toxic. I know. But I love Jack. He is manipulative. I can't even lie. But if he was just a good person, again, if he was just a good person, I just couldn't feel right about Dean being with him. So I guess, and listen, Dean's out in this episode. Dean is the only one that can keep up with Jack. They were made for each other, okay? They were made for each other. Again, Rafi needs to take responsibility for his own things. And, like, I just can't take Rafi seriously. Oh, no, you're playing with Rafi's feelings. Oh, no, Jack, stop playing with Rafi's feelings. Rafi's sleeping with Jack's brother, and Rafi is trying to sleep with Jack's friend. Rafi is playing with Rafi's feelings. Rafi wants to go around, run around, play games at the Rafi, oh my god. Rafi just wants to run around and be in mess and be in drama, okay? That's what he wants to do. He wants to expose people for their jobs. That's what he wants to do. He wants to cyberbully his co-stars. That's what he wants to do. He wants to turn up drunk and then pull his situationship away from work in the middle of a set. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. Rafi wants to play games. And Jack is too old for that, okay? Jack, he's old. Like, you can tell, like, he has an old spirit, an old soul. Like, he's ready to settle down, okay? I don't know why he's playing these games with his ex. Maybe that's like his little old man recreation, you know? Enrichment. Keeps the mind young, keeps it limber, okay? He's trying to do an actual job here. He's trying to put on an actual production. He can't deal with all that. Okay? Okay? That is 100% on Rafi. I don't want to hear anything about how Jack is being mean to Rafi. Have we really thought about a reality in which Jack does like Rafi, and the whole time that Rafi is trying to get with Jack, he's also sleeping with his brother? Like, can we can we lock back in? Can we lock back in? Um, I think he's a good director. Here's the thing, though, Mr. Director. You're crazy for kissing Dean in the middle of rehearsal. That's insane. You know, maybe like they needed to have the sex on the stairs. They needed to have sex on the stairs. What happened was it'd been a while since he had sex with Dean, but now he's gotten that out of his system. He will no longer be doing all that at rehearsal because that's not professional. We've got a show to run here, folks. We've literally got a show. Like this is your show. This is your thesis. This is your grade. You want to graduate or not? Kissing the actors in the middle, that's insane. And everybody knows it. Jack is a little bit it's not all there. And I just like, what do you mean like I don't want to we're not in a relationship yet. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. This is clearly all foreplay to Jack. Clearly. Because you say all that, then you kiss him in the middle of rehearsal. You get really mad watching him make TikToks with another. He's making TikToks with another man, and you're foaming at the mouth. Foaming at the mouth. You were never, in no world were you ever gonna be okay with Dean not being exclusive to you. Clearly. You broke up because I think what needed to happen was you needed some time apart. I think that's fair. And you needed, you know, some space to figure out yourselves and what you guys want to do and to grow as people before you come back together. But I just don't think, I've never seen them willing to let each other go. I will say, at the end of episode 5, it became very clear to me why they broke up in the first place. Because I feel like yeah, why they broke up in the first place and why like I just don't know if they're in the position now to get in a relationship. I feel like it's better. It's getting better, but I think that Jack has a hard time of like expressing what he's actually feeling, and so he just like sort of sweeps a lot of things under the rug, and it builds like a lot of resentment towards Dean. And then Dean has a habit of saying, okay, bet, and then he reacts. It's kind of like it's not at all like having two Rays in a relationship, but like the level of like emotional, it's like having two healed Rays in a relationship, okay? Where these are people that aren't like necessarily flying off the handle and like knocking down all the items off the shelves the moment something goes wrong, but it's also not like they are equipped to handle everything that comes up when you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? So I hope they continue to grow as people. I saw one tweet. Oh, maybe I shouldn't get into this yet, but like I saw one tweet about like, oh yeah, Jack and Dean's favorite movies are all movies where they don't end up together at the end, and I had to say, put the phone down because you've just devastated me. Are you aware? Are you aware that you've just ruined my whole day with that tweet? It's beautiful media analysis. Like I love this is one of the reasons that I love being on BL Twitter, because some people are they're very smart and they catch the things that I don't see. However, I was personally attacked. Because I need Jack and Dean to work it out. I need them to work it out. I do. But let's move on from Jack. I think that's pretty much what I have to say about him. Did he do anything else? He's not been doing anything else. Just kissing Dean in the middle of rehearsal. Girl, lock back in. Please lock back in. Begging you to lock back in. Do I think he should have done that with the sponsors? Um, I mean, ooh, he did want the show to happen. It was kind of a hard situation, and I do understand that. I also feel like Dean has every right to be mad at Jack for that, because I saw another tweet that's like, Dean has been waiting for Jack to fight for him. Dean has been waiting for Jack to fight for him. Like, because there's so many levels to this relationship that I'm just not seeing in the other relationships yet. Maybe like the first half of the show is just like very centered on them and like their complexities. But when I saw that tweet, Dean has been waiting for Jack to fight for him. Wow. Like Jack Dean is living my whole. I need to move on to Dean because I'm gonna talk more about Jack Dean when we're talking about Dean. Dean is one of my favorite characters. Never like I've in all of my watching of BL, I've just never encountered a character like Dean. And what I mean by that is like a character that moves through the world so sure of himself. Like again, like I said before, Dean knows exactly who he is. Dean has goals. And Dean is going to achieve those goals. And like, yes, he has his man. His man is secondary to him getting what he needs out of life. He's going to get that. Okay? He just has such a maturity that I really think that I admire. Like, I'd love to have a friend like Dean in my life. Because just to someone to go like, oh my God, you know where you're headed in life. When he came up with the idea to make couples content with Arnold, that was so. He said, "I'm gonna. Oh, I need followers. I need 50,000 followers. Hold that thought. I'm gonna come back with 100,000 followers." And guess what he did? He made it happen. He made it happen. That's magic. That's looking at the world and going, I know how to make this happen. I know how to make this happen. And like, as somebody who like I feel like I understand Dean in some ways. Like I also come from like a similar background where it's like I'm surrounded by people who have like things handed to them, and I'm just not one of those people in terms of like a lot of different stuff. Like just like the knowledge that like I'm a survivor, and I'm going to continue to survive. I'm going to continue to get what I need, and the world has shown me the space that it has for the kind of person that I am, and I'm going to widen that space. Oh, yes. Absolutely. What I just described reminds me a lot of the way that I described my ex-girlfriend. Um and I can't dwell on that. So we're going to move we're going to move on. We're going to move on. I just think that like people like Dean are the people that I'm most compatible with romantically. So I'm looking for my Dean, like hit me up if you feel like that was connecting to you. You know, I am looking to settle down. I'm old like Jack, you guys. It's time for me to settle down and find my wife. Um so yeah, I love Dean. Once again people have said, "Oh, you know, Tua, why wouldn't Dean know that Tua is upset?" Take up all those issues with Arnold. Arnold's fault. That's not Dean. That's not Dean, okay? He hasn't even done anything crazy. You know, he could have retaliated. Here's the thing. Rafi did some backdoor, shady nonsense, cyberbullying, and we're all 22 years old. Cyberbullying, we're all 22 years old. Cyberbullying, all of us, we're 22. He did some of that stuff to Dean, and Dean didn't say like, oh, it's time for me to take down Rafi. No. he said, "Oh, he thought." Well, he did like confront Rafi, but notice how he confronted Rafi to his face. Everything Dean does, he's gonna do it to your face, and all he did was yell at him a little bit. Like, Dean has not been this crazy, evil, conniving person. Like, he's not really worried about what other people are doing. He's just trying to make sure he has his man, he has his job, and he has his future prospects. That's it. That's it. Oh, love him. Love him. Um, there does seem to be a friendship blossoming between him and Arnold. Again, that needs to stay platonic. We don't have the time. We don't have the time. We're on next episode is 7. We don't have time for that kind of subplot. We weren't going to have that time for that kind of subplot episode 1. I'm going to be real with you. Gonna be honest. We're not doing that. Also, can I go back to Jack for a little bit? I'm sorry. Like, I said before that I was sad that it seemed like Earth was taking on, like, a grumpier role. But I love his portrayal of Jack. Like, I feel like there's a wisdom there, there's a maturity, and it's very different, I feel like, from his other more mature roles. Like, it begins with a P. Poo. Poo. We're gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Like in a tale of a thousand stars. Like there is like this, and I see his Earth like mannerisms coming through more. Like his little. I don't know. I feel like his physicality from Osan's Love Thailand is what really got me onto the Earth Pure Pack train. Like that's one of my favorite actors, and I feel like he's bringing some of that physicality as well to this role, which I love. And again, we're seeing his waist every 5 episodes. I love Dean. Do I have anything else to say about Dean? Yeah, I'm excited to see him act some more. I really hope, like, I don't know why he was missing rehearsals to film this sponsorship thing. Like, he should have known, like, oh, I'm actually not gonna be able to come. I'm actually not going to be able to make it to rehearsal at all. Because this is like other people's time that we do have to work. And like whenever we're doing interviews, it seems to be the actors that we're talking about are Arnold, Dean, and then Rafi. So it seems like there's 3 actors in the play. I know when rehearsing, other people are in the play, but it seems like there's 3 actors in the play. So if 2 of the 3 actors don't show up to rehearsal, I feel as though that does in fact mean there can't be a rehearsal. So Dean, as an actor going forward, just if you want to keep jobs, you need to communicate that. And I still haven't forgotten the fact that you slept through a different performance. Like, can we open that back up? Can we actually revisit that? Because how does that happen? How does that happen? I feel like we're going to. I feel like we're definitely gonna. Like, I didn't really think that the money thing that, like, Tua paying for Arnold was going to come up again, but it did. I honestly didn't think much about it, but I should have. But I do think, like, the detail, like, they wouldn't have added that detail. Oh, yeah, remember like, last year, maybe it was, Dean slept through a performance and missed it. That's, as, like, a person who's done theater myself, I just can't even imagine that happening. That's kind of insane. So you low-key, you need to explain yourself. But now let's move on. I'm 21, I'm 17, and I'm afraid of Arnold Dean. I'm gonna be so real. Again, I've said this once, I'll say it 100 times. I don't want to see that. Because I don't want to see it. And I don't, like, I'm afraid of the fallout from what's gonna happen because that's Tua's mad, and now freaking Jack is mad, and Jack doesn't know how to be mad. I feel like Jack and fucking Ray actually have the exact kind of anger because Jack just goes totally inward, whereas Ray explodes out. Jack collapses inward, and like I just don't have time. Another thing is the myth of consensual sex. So only friends dream on, you're cowards. I'm gonna call this show Only Virgins sleep on, because why are we not kissing anybody else? Like, it's okay. It's okay. You know what? Like, I've seen people being annoying on Twitter. If I have the option to do the thing that prevents me from experiencing people being annoying on Twitter, I'm gonna definitely do that thing. Don't have the people kiss. Don't mix any of the pairs. You've shown you don't know how to act. BL stands. Therefore, we're not feeding you the delicious yaoi meals that you could have been fed and that were in the script. However, when we keep having people go, oh, or and then somebody barges in, it's like, girl, it kind of becomes explicitly obvious that this is a thing that we're specifically trying not to do. And at that point, we're sacrificing the storytelling. And I feel like if we are in if the environment, if the shipping culture is directly harming the storytelling, it's a problem. It's a problem. So, and I feel like either we need to stop having these fake almost kisses, or they just need to kiss on the mouth. Like, that's it. That's it. That's it. Stop baiting people, because it just feels weak compared to what we saw, compared to all the things that we did see and Only Friends. And people say, like, you shouldn't make that comparison. The problem is the show itself makes the comparison. Number one, we've had like three cameos in like scenes so far. We had three cameos. The show has Only Friends in the title. I don't know why we're making this big distinction between like sequel and season 2 and spin-off. Like, I don't think it actually materially matters. The fact is that we are in the same world as the Only Friends universe. Not only that, but also using the same title and similar branding as the Only Friends universe in the original Only Friends story. So it's natural for people to compare the two. It would actually be very strange if we never compared the two, because again, there are characters from season 1 that are popping up here. I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Everybody professionally that is actually involved with the creation of the show is calling this the season 2 of Only Friends. So I think it's okay to make comparisons, okay? I get, letting the story be its own and letting it breathe. But when people are saying, like, why are we being so afraid of showing intimacy between actors that are not in these fixed couples, that is not letting the show stand on its own. That is acknowledging that what made Only Friends such a bold and daring and, like, boundary pushing, fresh, innovative story and idea in the first place is something that this show is absolutely terrified to do. And that does feel a little bit tragic. That does feel like a bit of a loss. I think that's kind of fair to say. Whether or not that's on, the storytelling team, or on, the management, or greater things that are moving within the industry, I don't really know, okay? It might also come down to, like, actor preferences, and I think that probably actors in Gmmtv have more freedom to voice what they are and aren't gonna do on camera than actors other places. And I mean, like, in, like, Western shows, like, because I think actors have more selection over things, in these sort of Thai BL or NGL spaces, which I think is good. I'm very pleased with that. And I want to be respectful for that. But when we come to situations where we have these almost kisses, I think, like, we've had 4 of them now. I'm getting tired. Only virgins, okay. Okay, and that's fine. Sex is between a husband and his husband. Okay? And that's okay. Holding space for that. Who is he gonna be? We're almost halfway through the show, you guys. Who is this man? Who is he connected to? Who does he know? I just feel like Jack and Dean, they have enough going on. I don't see that happening. I feel like we've already gotten into Arnold and Tua's past. This feels like Rome Rafi, but he also feels like a little bit too old for Rome and Rafi. Like, in the pictures, like, he felt like more mature, like, and so I connected him more with Jack. But it could be Rome and Rafi. I don't know. But again, Rafi likes to play games. Rafi just wants to go into the park, wants to play outside. Rafi wants to play outside. So, and I don't see him as a person that's playing outside, but maybe like through his mom, like industry connections, like his mom thinks he should be dating somebody like this guy. I don't know. There was a Sandray. I don't have a picture for it, but there was a Sandray cameo in this episode. I screamed. You don't know the extent to which I had back-to-back yaoi attacks, because not only did I have this episode of Only for Entry Mon, and not only did Jack and Dean do BDSM brat ex brat tamer role play on the stairs, and we like back against the wall, and then we got San Ray, and then at the fucking the Force Book fan con, there was the first encounter, and then backstage, they hug and lift each other off the ground, and then Kautung rubs his cheek against first cheek, and then there was a fupload. And Dan and Phil did baking, and then there was a Patreon bonus video. It was too much. It was too much. I felt slapped back and forth today. And one of those contributing factors was first Kautung in Only for Entry Mon. Again, I did not expect that to happen, and I did scream out loud. I did scream out loud when I saw Sand Ray on my screen again. I did not think that was gonna happen. I thought it was interesting that, you know, of all the things that Sand and Ray could have been doing, all the things that Ray could have been doing specifically in his, you know, little 3-minute appearance in this episode, was they chose for him to drink beer. I just don't know. I just don't know if Ray should be drinking beer. Is this the last time we're ever gonna see Ray and he's drinking beer? Like, I get, like, you can be sober, or you can be, like, you know, be recovering from alcoholism, or like having received treatment for alcoholism and still drink alcohol. We've seen as much with Jack. Jack is still drinking, okay? His drinks are extra strong, but he did all the steps to the program and he's healed. He's better now. Yeah, sure. That's how that, I don't know how that works. Maybe it is. He seems fine. He seems okay. But with Ray, it's just like, yeah, like you could be better, you could be okay, but like, drinking just has such a strong relationship in my mind to Ray. Like, Ray and alcohol have like such a defined bad relationship, that for that to be just kind of thrown in here in this cameo, it felt a little bit odd. I'm not gonna lie. It felt a little weird. It felt a little out of place. It felt like, maybe the writers didn't think this through. Maybe they thought, you know, oh, remember when Sand and Ray said they were gonna start an alcohol brewing company together? And then, they forgot, you know, how we got to them doing that. But maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not trying to assume what's going on in the writer's room. So yeah. So that's my thoughts on, we're halfway through the show. I'm not ready for this to be over. Like, Jack Dean is my whole life. That is my toxic yaoi right now. Like, they won me over. They did. Can you tell that I like Jack Dean from this video? I really hope that, like, again, like, if you love Rome Rafi, if you love Arnold Tua, please let me know. Like, explain why. Like, give me something like Dean has been waiting for Jack to fight for him. Every movie that Dean and Jack love has an unhappy ending, but Romeo and Romeo will have a happy ending to play. That he specifically chose that. Jack did. So maybe they can rewrite their own happy ending and be together. Like, if you could find some sort of literary analysis for these other couples to get me on board, please do. Right now it's struggle bus. I can't even lie. That's all for today's video. I will be back. Probably next time you'll see me, I'll be talking about GL Girl Rules. I do have thoughts over there. I do have thoughts. But that won't be till the next episode airs. So that is all for now. Stay groovy, and I will see you in my closet again. Bye bye.